Alrighty, what's up guys? We're back again today with another video. We're going to talk a little bit more about scaling, as scaling has been a pretty hot topic. There's been some more stuff coming out about how the dungeon scaling is going to be impacted come 8.3 inside of the 8.3 PTR. You guys can download it and test it for yourself. I recently have been doing a fair amount of keys on the PTR to try to get a little bit more in-depth knowledge of the Awakened affix. So there may be some more content in relation to the Awakened affix coming soon. But right now, something that we need to talk about is their continuous changes to Mythic Plus dungeon scaling on the PTR. So first thing, we can take a look at this great Wowhead post by my friend Squishy. You can check that down in the description if you guys would like to read the article yourself. And I'm going to talk about the stuff that matters to most people. There's some stuff about K value, which is basically just like how much diminishing returns you get from stat value. And I'm not going to go too in depth on that. I'm going to talk about it a little bit and how it relates to more DPS stuff, but not in relationship to tanks. But if you guys would like, you can check out the article for yourselves and read about what it says about tanking. So first thing that we need to look at is the base dungeon scaling change is being changed from 45 to 52.6%. If you ever thought you weren't going to get one shot, think again, because we're about to die this next patch. Basically, this will be increasing by 4.5 key levels up from 4. Again, this is just another compounding issue with the fact that you're going to have too much DPS and you're going to be doing key levels that are not appropriate to your health pool. And once you actually start doing key levels that are not appropriate to your health pool, then you start getting put in positions where you're liable to get one shot by a very wide range of mechanics, such as Powder Shot, Azurite Powder Shot, just a bunch of varying mechanics. It just kind of depends on character class. But the scaling on these dungeons being increased from 45% to 52.6% is going to be very scary with the amount of health that you're going to have whenever you do gain 30 item levels. Generally, this goes up by 30%, tier over tier. And the reason for that being is that you're going to be gaining 30 item levels worth of gear, which damage and health should technically scale at a similar pace, but they're definitely not this expansion. So we're getting back to Legion-esque levels of scaling. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. Basically, you're going to start getting one shot at lower key levels. Probably won't affect like the super mass populace. Like whenever you're trying to do your 15s for your weekly, you're probably not going to get one shot by mechanics. But once you actually start getting up to like the 19, the 20 range, you may be in some trouble if you don't have insane defensives or playing a class like Balance Druid that has Bear Form and infinite survivability. Alrighty, so let's talk really briefly about armor and the armor values. So basically, every season K value changes, and it is just a stat for how like critical block and armor scale to make sure that tanks aren't scaling out of control. So this always gets changed every single patch. It's just a scaling stat in order to be able to keep tanks in control. Basically, it's just like the really high level of it. And something that's important is that once you're fully geared again, your defensive power should return to about the current state. But that's normally only a thing for tanks. For DPS, it's going to be pretty big of an issue, especially at the very beginning of the patch. And compounded on the fact that you're going to have some insane amount of scaling coming into the dungeon's base from 45 to 52.6%. So I hopped onto the PTR because I actually wanted to check and see what my scaling looked like as a Moonkin. And just as a point of reference, this is my damage reduction from armor on live as a Balanced Druid in Moonkin form. So I'm getting about 40-ish% damage reduction from armor sources. Like, so against the current target is the most important part. So it'll be at 39.65% damage reduction from armor. On the PTR, I think I was wearing like one different piece on the PTR whenever I took this picture, but it doesn't affect it too much. I lost about 8% of my damage reduction from armor. So that's going to be a pretty big issue for some abilities. And Squishy talked about some of these abilities down here. Throw rock. So basically, there's these mine rats that are after the first boss of Motherload. The throw rock targets the nearest player. I don't think this one's going to be really absurd. Grease gun, stupid ass ability, and people are probably like, I don't know about probably, but people can actually get two shot by this grease gun starting at exceedingly low levels because of this now. Tantrum. Kragmaw the Infested, his Tantrum is actually a physical damage and is mitigated by armor. This is going to be pretty annoying if you're not playing something like a Rogue or a Moonkin, I guess, with Switch Hitter. Powder Shot, again, Eudora. Anything physical always comes back to Eudora because she's stupid. Quaking Leap, King Dazar and King's Rest. Obviously, this is physical damage as well for whatever reason. Normally, I would say that that's not going to be a huge issue, but there are a couple things that are actually going to be problematic that aren't actually listed here. The Harpooners in Freehold, their Harpoon ability, whenever you have two of them active, you already take a pretty significant amount of damage from them as is if you're getting hit twice. So that could be pretty dangerous. And then the Matron charge in Underrot from that, the one that does like the slash at the very beginning. Dude, she already like kills Clothy's 100 to 0. The fact that they're nerfing armor even more for people, that's going to be very scary if you are a cloth wearing class. For most leather wearers, you'll be losing about 5% more physical damage, whereas armor wearers are probably going to be losing, whereas plate wearers are probably going to be losing somewhere in the Moonkin level, so about 8%, so stuff like that. But that's going to be a big yikes. So like the root of this is going to be, in addition to the 53% scaling modifier, there's some impactful abilities that are going to be really bad towards the beginning of the season because of the reduction in armor. And that is something that you need to be aware of moving forward because scaling is getting out of control. There have also been a few dungeon changes. So the Shadow Zul skip is fixed. Crab emoji. Honestly, I'm not super surprised that the Shadow Zul skip got fixed. What I am surprised about is that Shadow Zul only got his health reduced by 6%. So for a mob that requires all offensive and defensive cooldowns out of your tank, your healer, your DPS, even Bloodlust, I must say, not exactly the greatest change. 6% on his health does not seem like the right direction. I probably would have nerfed his Shadow Barrage by, like, I don't know, 20%, and it made it to where some tanks are actually able to tank it. Prot Warrior has huge survivability issues, and if you even remember, like, back in the MDI, there were tanks that were just flopping to Fortified Shadow of Zul with Quaking on an 18. 18 is not like outside the realm of a normal player base, so this isn't just like a high-end player issue. This is like a everybody player issue. So it's definitely going to be pretty rough. 6% is not nearly enough. His health realistically shouldn't be the thing that's touched, although I'm not complaining too much. It really should be like his damage that he's doing, and he also should probably give more count, because the fact that he gives like an exceedingly low amount of count is pretty stupid in of itself. Alrighty, so I just wanted to make another video talking about scaling today. Again, just to recap, scaling is going to be going up a significant amount. People are going to start getting one shot at an even higher rate than they currently are. This is starting to bleed into the realm of no longer just a high player issue. This is starting to get closer to the point of like, all right, so I'm doing my 15 for a weekly. Do I get one shot by this mechanic? And it's starting to get to that point. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys check out my stuff down in the description. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you later. Peace.